Imagine it's a Friday night in high school, and your friends are all hanging out at someone's house and you want to be there too. For whatever reason, your parents don't want you to go to this person's house, but you really want to be there. You also know that you could lie to your parents and tell them that you have to do a school project with this person and they would let you go over to their house and do so. What do? Do you tell the truth or do you lie to your parents to go over to this person's house? Hi, it's Damian and welcome to Teen Philosophy. This week's video is going to be about lying. Recent studies have concluded that out of all age groups, teenagers lie the most frequently, with the average teenager lying about 3 times per day. A professor at Oberlin College named Nancy Darling researched lying in teenagers for over a decade, and she categorized all teenage lies into 3 different categories. First, we have lying by avoidance, which is basically just steering people away from things they don't want to talk about. This happens very frequently with parents. Secondly, we have lying by omission, which is leaving out crucial bits of information to a story without which the moral of the story isn't as solidified. An example of when I have previously lied by omission happens pretty frequently with me traveling with my parents. For example, we often have dinners that are around an hour away from our house and we have to leave from different locations. Sometimes I arrive late to the restaurant. When I explain to my parents why I'm late, I end up saying things about my bad fortune with traveling, like how it was raining a lot and it made it slower, or how I was stuck in a lot of traffic, but I often leave out the key bit of information that I actually left 30 minutes late because I was scrolling through Instagram or something. Lastly, we have lying by commission, which is the most basic form and most common form of lying. And lying by commission is saying things that are intentionally untrue. The main 2 opposing philosophical perspectives about lying are the deontological one and the consequentialist one. The consequentialist mindset believes the outcome of the action is more important than the intention of the action, while the deontological mindset believes that the intention behind the action is more important than the actual intended outcome of what happens. One of the founding consequentialist thinkers was Jeremy Bentham, and Bentham believed that if the consequences of telling a lie were better than the consequences of telling the truth, you should always tell that lie. Bentham's way of defining the value of consequences was through the greatest happiness for the greatest number of people. Due to this belief, Bentham believed that white lies were a good thing in many situations. For example, if your parents asked you whether they looked good or not, Bentham would believe that it would be better to lie to them and say they looked good because it's the greatest happiness for the greatest number of people. On the other hand, Immanuel Kant, one of the founders of the deontological mindset, believes that you should never lie. See, Kant believed that there were universal morals that every single person should follow. These uniform rules that dictates how everyone should act. These rules are don't lie, don't steal, and don't cheat. Basic things that are basic ethical principles that most people think to abide by. Unlike consequentialism, deontology aims to remove the biases and subjectivity behind one's decision making. Kant argued that all people are born with an intrinsic work that is called human dignity. This dignity is due to humans being uniquely rational beings that are able to make their own decisions. As Kant said, to be human is to have the rational power of having free choice. To be ethical is to respect that power in oneself and others. Lastly, I'm going to offer you one thought experiment that you can do to help you through the next time you have to make the decision of whether you want to lie or not. Cicely Bach, a contemporary philosopher, offers what she calls the test of publicity. If we were to apply this test as a thought experiment, we would bring everyone affected by a particular lie together as a panel, as a jury. We would then show and tell all our arguments of why we said this particular lie to that jury of everyone who's affected by the lie in any way. Now, whatever you feel the jury's verdict would be about whether you should have told that lie or not is how you feel about whether you should tell that lie or not. We teenagers are presented with the opportunity to lie various times throughout every day. And hopefully, learning about the different philosophical stances about whether you should lie or not can help you inform your next decision of whether you want to make that decision or not. Now, I'd like a moment of reflection back to the original question that I asked in the beginning of this video. After learning about the different philosophical stances of lying, would you change your decision of whether you should lie or not to your parents to go to your friend's house? I'm interested with how you would handle the situation. Please leave a comment below of what you would do, and I'll respond to some of them next week.